Welcome back to Work in Progress, Installment 2. My name is Ava Zielinski, Senior Marketing and Communications Intern at the Loeb Center. Today I had the wonderful opportunity to speak to Sydney Keating, who is a graduating senior currently, and we talked about everything from her triple majors to her thesis to also preparing for post-grad life. Hello, Sid. Welcome in. We are very excited to have you here today. Before we kind of jump right into everything, if you want to tell the world who you are, what you're doing here at Amherst, and everything in between.
Totally, okay. I'm Sid. Should I look at you or the camera or the...
Whoever you... I mean, if you really want to break the fourth wall, we can just highlight curate that. Like, hi, everybody.
Totally.
But yeah.
I'm Sid. I'm a senior. I'm a computer science, English, and philosophy triple major.
Oh my gosh. How do you have time?
It's like a really good question. It's a great question.
Fair enough.
I'm writing a thesis this semester in English, which has been very fun, very cool. And yeah, those are like the big things about me. I also work at the Loeb Center. I also work a number of other jobs on campus. I work at the IT desk, and I also work in the computer science department as like a DEI intern doing like outreach and like community stuff. And I'm a reserve tour guide, but up until this semester I was a tour guide for like active tour guide for like 2 years.
Oh my gosh, that's wild. So when you first got here, were you like, okay, I want to be a triple major, or was it sort of the vibe where, okay, I'm starting to get interested in a lot of things, and I don't want to choose between them? Not like a Sophie's Choice moment. So you're like, you know what? We'll have everybody. Everybody's welcome now.
I kind of came in. I knew I wanted to do comp sci and English. I was like, I like both. I'm good at both. Like, it seems cool. And then my junior fall, I took a class in the philosophy department with Professor Layton Hardy, and I'd taken a couple philosophy courses, not that many, but I was like, this is really cool. This is awesome. And then my junior spring, I was like, could I maybe major? I only have this semester and 2 more semesters. And it was like, if I take 2 philosophy classes for the next 3 semesters, I can do the major. And I was like, I kind of got into it a little late, but I really was like, this is something I could see myself doing, like post-grad and, all of that. So I was like, I'm going to try and do it, and it worked out okay.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's amazing, too. You didn't put a lot of pressure on yourself there. It sounds like it kind of it materialized later on, but you kind of just rolled with it.
Yeah, pretty much. I just was like I was like, oh, could I maybe do the major? And then I was like, okay, no, I'm not going to. And then I was like, but I really, if I don't do the major, I'll end up 2 classes short of the degree, and I was like, I might as well just go for it.
Yeah, and unfortunately Amherst doesn't have the minors or anything like that. And if you're submitting your resume to some maybe other Amherst alums, and you're like, oh, I did a concentration in philosophy, they're like, we all know that's a lie.
Yeah.
You're not quite there yet, but keep trying.
Totally.
That absolutely makes sense. Oh my gosh, wow. And in terms of all the lovely campus jobs that you have, no shade to the Loeb Center. We love you. we work for you, so you're really great. But what would you say has been your favorite experience thus far?
Oh man, okay. It's tough. I would say that my favorite has probably been, if not the Loeb Center, the IT desk. That's been a blast. I love working there. It's just full of a whole bunch of dorks. I don't know if they're seeing this, but they are super dorky. Everyone there, and it's,
IT desk, we love you.
We love you so much.
You're really helpful. I mean, because I don't know anything about computers, nothing. So they've been very helpful.
Yeah, they're awesome, and I get to go there and talk about video games, so it's kind of perfect. I'd say that's my favorite. It's really cool to work with computers. I've gotten to do a couple of cool projects there, and I like helping people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of awesome when a professor calls in that I know, or a friend sent a ticket, and I'm like, oh, okay. I probably don't know if I could help you, but I can find someone who can help you, and that's my job.
That makes sense. That's so cool. Now, was your sort of passion for computer science coupled with your interest in working at the IT help desk? Is this something that you want to continue going forward?
I would love to. I didn't expect to. It was I think my junior spring, and I was like, I kind of want to get another job, and it's between this and working at the theater department, Kirby, I think, doing stage management.
Sure.
I think it was legit building sets, and I'm not I've never done that.
That is very, very cool. But if you don't have a lot of experience in that could be a really steep learning curve.
Yeah, right. I'd never done it before. I was just looking for something to do on campus, and then the IT desk had something open, and I was like, okay, I'm a comp sci major, and they like comp sci majors for, I guess, the whole
obvious
tech
reasons.
part of it. Yeah, obvious reasons. And so I was like, yeah, I could do this, and it was a pretty smooth interviewing process, and they liked that I was a comp sci major, and like I wrote a good cover letter apparently, and yeah, it worked out pretty well with the comp sci interest. But I will say I don't think you definitely need one if you're able to like understand like complex topics, which I think everyone at Amherst can, and explain them.
But I mean, if I decide to go rogue my last couple of months here, then like I'll just apply to the IT desk with absolutely no experience and see what happens.
Yeah,
it'll be a lesson in rejection, but it's okay. Now, in terms of your 3 lovely majors, what do you think has been your favorite or most memorable class that you have taken at Amherst? Because you have a lot to choose from. You have a big pool to choose from.
Yeah, absolutely. Gosh. I would say my most memorable class would be ethics in the philosophy department with Professor Shaw. It was such like it was such like a wild class. Like it was different than any class I've ever taken before. And it was like our professor would give us this reading, and then one group would present, and he would leave. He'd go to his office, or like halfway through the semester, you would just start going to his office, and the group would present, and then all of the other like students would like be like comments, critiques, like challenge the group, and the group would just have to stand up there and like fend off these comments.
Oh my gosh!
It was so crazy, and I learned so much. Like when I first started, I was like, I hate this. This is so.
I mean, that's fair. It's really intimidating, and learning how to like essentially get peppered with criticism every single day you're there is a lot.
Yeah, and and some people were way better at it, and I was like, I'm just standing up here, I'm gonna read something out, and someone's gonna go, and I'm gonna go, oh. But by the end of the semester, like everyone had gotten sort of into the groove of it, and everyone started to like respect each other's colleagues. So it was all very respectful, and it was really cool. I didn't expect it to turn out like that, but it did.
Wow, that's awesome. So then what made you write a thesis specifically in English? Because, okay, you have 3 departments to choose from here. Tell me about that process for you.
So for my English thesis, I've always loved creative writing, and I was like coming in, and when I learned what a thesis was, I was like, if I can spend the semester working on a like full draft of a novel, like finishing up a novella, and take it for course credit, I was like, I will absolutely do that. Especially because for me, like having deadlines and like grades and accountability is the only way I'll get anything done.
Yep. So true. You know. If you keep something in like secret, if you keep yourself on a deadline in secret, it'll never happen.
Yeah,
it takes way more discipline than you might need. You might need to do it.
Yeah, I definitely. If I'm not getting like an email like where are my pages, like where are the pages you submit, I'm just not gonna do them. So that was really great. And yeah, I mean, I pitched my idea last spring. It was a busy spring. And
I bet.
And the department was like, sure, go for it. And I've been writing it since. It's been awesome.
Oh my gosh. Are you willing to tell the world a little bit about it?
Absolutely, yeah.
Please.
It's a creative fiction novella. It's a realistic fiction piece, and it is about this like young woman and her friends in New York, and the whole thing is that they're like super morally bankrupt. They're kind of, and this is just like it's sort of like something that I like noticed in high school and coming into college, that there was this rise in activism amongst like college like population and like people at Amherst and other places, but a lot of it was very performative. That sort of like, you know, you're putting 80 GoFundMe links on your Instagram story, and that's all you're doing, and then you're not even thinking about the cause or anything like that.
For sure.
So the story kind of stems from that, and like exploring what it means to be like super wealthy in New York and in these social activist groups, but also like actively being one of the people who there are like, you know, where change needs to happen, like being a part of the class that needs to change.
Sure.
So yeah, in a very high level, it's like a critique.
Yeah.
on I don't know, like elitism, that type of thing.
That's amazing. That is really, really cool. When is it due? Are you almost done?
I'm done with the first draft.
Okay.
That is, I think, it was 193 pages when I finished.
Oh my goodness.
Which was really
my
long.
word.
It was quite long, but we cut it about 10 pages now, so it's like 183. And it's
only 183. Yes,
like
of
a
course.
light, easy 183. And it's due in April, like early April.
Okay.
So coming up.
Wait, so you're getting there.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to celebrate when it's turned in and it's over and you have this lovely, beautiful, published piece, and then you go, okay, I can read it now. I don't have to work on this ever again.
Yeah, I'm excited to write the acknowledgements and then like close the doc and be done.
That's so amazing. Wow. Okay, so you're in your last couple months of college.
Yeah.
I'm in my last couple months of college.
Mm-hmm.
World, that's scary. But it's cool. Also
cool.
Scary. how are you feeling? What's going through your mind right now? Is there anything you could also tell current or future students about what this feels like, or the process going through college feels like?
Totally, yeah. It feels good. I am excited. I'm excited for New York. I'm psyched to be going there. And I think that I think Amherst was everything that I needed it to be when I first got out of got out of high school.
Dual degree.
Yeah. I've been going here for like 8 years. Yeah, when I came out of high school, I was like, I want a small liberal arts college in the middle of nowhere, so I could just like be in this little insulated bubble. And I think it's starting to feel a little bit like an insulated bubble, you know?
I feel that.
And I love the community here because of how small and like tight knit it is, and I'm excited to go see like the big city and meet like so many, instead of 2,000, like 2 million people. Not that I meet 2 million people, but be in the city.
Exactly. All of them, all at once. No, for sure. I think something that I've noticed too, in terms of how Amherst prepares you, is like Amherst quite literally prepares you for life after college.
Totally.
Because a lot of times what you do see or you do hear, like the narrative that your life ends when college is over, and it becomes just sort of like this lonely, open expanse of time, and it's just work and life and sleep, and then maybe a little bit of social time in between. And that's kind of the narrative we've been fed our whole lives, which really sucks when you're a senior and you're like, oh, okay, so this is what everyone is like telling me. Yikes. But at the same time too, I feel like Amherst is very good at preparing you to be excited for your future and making it into something really beautiful. Whereas I feel like maybe at other schools, etc., people like to live in those past years. And you can I think you can definitely cherish things for what they are, but it feels nice and to kind of outgrow your box a little bit. And like to get to outgrow your box a little bit, because it allows you to, again, love your time here and be excited for another time as well. There's this like sort of this dual kind of nostalgia, bittersweet excitement. I think Amherst kind of killed like with how everyone lives on campus, for example, like the one dining hall, like all of that. As a sophomore, I was like, oh gosh, I wish I could live in an apartment. But now that I'm a senior, it's like I'm glad I got to do this for the 4 years, and I'm looking forward to doing those things for the rest of my life. No, exactly, exactly. I like tell my friends who go to schools much bigger than this one, and I'm like, so I live above the dining hall, and we have one dining hall, and I have a room, and my car is parked very far away from me, and that is all. And they're like, oh gosh, are you okay? And I'm like, honestly, it's really nice. It's great. And I cannot tell you how excited it will be to, live in an apartment, pay utilities. So excited to pay utilities. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, well, that's kind of part of it. You have to romanticize the little things, because sometimes the little things here too, you can really cherish as well.
Yeah, totally. Like we get all our meals cooked for us, and we get our dorms cleaned like
thank you,
3
Val.
times a week.
Thank you, custodial staff.
Thank you guys.
They're like, actually, thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. You're the best. But so feeling good, feeling excited. I know like the day graduation comes up, I know commencement I'm gonna be like a wreck.
I completely.
Like,
do you want to tell the world what you're going to be up to after graduation?
So after graduation, I'll be at Microsoft in New York. I'm going to be a software engineer. Ooh. So I think that's part of the post-grad excitement.
That is so cool.
I've got something lined up going on there. I'm psyched. I'm really excited. I like Microsoft. I've done a couple of summers with them. I was a vendor for them my freshman summer through another program, and then I've worked for them my sophomore and junior summer in like a professional capacity.
Oh my gosh, so like legacy intern. You are embedded in the family.
No, 100%. I've got like 4 different emails there from every summer I've worked there.
That is wild.
To keep up giving new stuff.
That is so cool. Now, what specific team will you be working on while you are in New York, and how does it differ from what you've done in past summers?
I'm actually not sure what team I'm working on yet. I know it'll be in Azure, which is cloud computing, which is like I think one of their biggest orgs. In recent years, I've been in like sort of like Azure storage, so like the files and stuff that go up in the cloud, and like managing them. And my first summer I was working on, or I guess my first summer working in Redmond, where Microsoft is, I was working on migrating files to the cloud, and then my second summer I was working on like managing storage in the cloud. So very similar things, and I'm thinking I'll do something similar in New York. But
Okay,
we'll
that's
see.
so cool. Now, okay, so you have been able to work for Microsoft since essentially your very first summer in college.
Yeah.
What was the process like of working for them, getting such a wonderful job like that for such a prestigious organization? Can you walk us through what that process looked like?
Totally, yeah. So my freshman fall, I was pretty convinced that over the summer I was just gonna like do whatever. I really wanted to work at Chipotle, which is what I'm doing this summer actually, in between graduation
nice.
and going to
Very
Microsoft.
nice.
So
That's the dream.
right? But it was like, I think winter break, and I was like, well, actually, you know, I know I want to do computer science full time. Why spend a summer not doing an internship if I can get one? So it was like my freshman, I think I was taking the Amtrak up from DC or something, and I was working on interview prep and sending out applications. And for undergrad or underclassmen, like freshman, sophomore, there are a whole bunch of programs specifically for freshman, sophomore that have a lower barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Those interviews are a lot easier. And those are like UberStar, Google Step, Microsoft Explorer, the New Technologies program, which is what I did, and then a handful of others.
Sure.
And so I just got back up to campus. I started doing interviews. I bombed a couple interviews.
Hey, it's part of the process. It's how you learn.
Yep, definitely. Definitely had a few Zoom calls with that I'd end and I'd go, oh, that wasn't.
Yikes.
That was
well, then it wasn't meant to be.
Mm-hmm,
What are some things that you've kind of learned through that sort of interview trial and error process that you think helped you gain confidence in being able to put out a good interview?
Yeah, I think that I was in the beginning a little bit too focused on getting the right answer to problems and not like sort of having like a good rapport with my interviewer.
Sure.
Which I think in my later interviews, as I like went to interview directly with Microsoft and with a couple of other companies, I think getting along with your interviewer, having really good behavioral skills is so underrated, especially in tech.
For sure.
You know, because it's like there's this whole like process of doing leak code, which are these puzzle problems that you do in interviews, and
wow.
I mean it's really intense. But if you fail like the question but you still get along really well with your interviewer and you're able to explain your thought process and like give cohesive, detailed insights into what you're thinking, I mean that's kind of the main thing. That's kind of the I don't know if I definitely won't say I've never written optimized code in an interview. I definitely have, but like and the times that I haven't and still done really well and moved on to different rounds, it's always been because me and the interviewer are just like talking about TV show.
For sure. Something that I've noticed is that, like, obviously, you know, going to Amherst is such a wonderful privilege, and it'll set you up with a wonderful education and a good life beyond that, no matter where you go or what you end up doing. But something that's so important when you enter the real world, because this is our fake world, is how important those sort of soft social skills are.
Totally.
And being able to sort of get along and work in a team, or, you know, sort of naturally network with people within these groups that you're working with or working for is what's going to help you so much in life, and also create so many of the connections that make post-grad life fun and interesting. And something that I think that an advantage of Amherst is how small it is. You are forced to see everyone you may like or dislike every day, all the time. You can't hide away in your little dining hall, like tucked away in the dining hall with your headphones in or whatever. You will see people that you know all the time. And as annoying as small talk can be sometimes, and on the best of days it's kind of nice, on the worst of days it can really suck, but it really teaches you to have that banter that you talk about with people, and that's really important.
Absolutely. I think like I was terrible at small talk before coming to college. I mean, I'd like never done it. In high school I had me and my 4 friends and like the cafeteria part, the part of the cafeteria we ate in, like that was it. And then getting to Amherst, and it's like, okay, here's everyone in the freshman class. There are 500 of us. We could fit in a large auditorium together. Seriously. And I will see you guys every day for the next 4 years. If I'm in Val, I will see you, and it's like there's always some weirdness where it's like someone who you maybe were really close with your first week, and now it's your juniors, and you like spot each other, and you're like, It's
like the hi factor. It's like, is it what version of hello are you on? Are you on the always hello? Are you on the I'll give you a hug? Are you on the sometimes hello? Or is it like the really weird eye contact and like the white people smile? Like, what's the level that you're on?
Totally, Or like, is it I'm looking at my phone and scrolling through the weather app because I don't know if I should look
I have to pretend not to look at you.
Right? Totally. But I've learned like a lot just like being in such close proximity. Like, you're gonna have to figure out how to have small talk with everyone, how to chit chat with everyone. If you want to go to Val at 6:30, like you're gonna see everyone there.
For sure. Absolutely. That's really important. I feel like we don't talk about that enough here. And as we're kind of running low on time, and with all you know and all the wisdom that you've gained over these years in your 3 majors and many jobs and Microsoft internships, what is some parting advice that you would have for some students here?
Gosh. I would say that you should always be thinking about what you want your life to look like, even just in some capacity, like all the time. Even if it's just like, you know, you're a freshman and you're like, I could see myself firefighting, I don't know, in like the middle of Colorado, something random like that. It's always going to lead you to something. Like if you start going down that path even a little bit, you're going to find like things about yourself out. And also you're going to stumble onto other things that might be cool. Like, you know, you look into firefighting jobs, you're like, I can't do that. But I do think that it's cool, but like I care about the environment. So you take an environmental studies class and, oh, I really like this professor, you're doing research now. And like those little things, just exploring the threads that your brain gives to you. You know, I think that people are very intuitive into the things that they like. And there's always like, if you have an idea of something you could see yourself doing, there's a reason for it.
Yeah. So
explore it even a little bit. Like I would have never thought that I could get into philosophy. But I had this thought that I was like, okay, well, I like this class, and I think ethics are cool, and, you know, maybe I'll look up the Wikipedia article for the word philosophy and see if anything sticks, and it just leads you to such amazing places. So always trust your intuition.
That is so cool, and that is great advice. I often feel that the people, or, you know, when you follow the path of least resistance, not that it's not going to be a difficult path, but the path that just tends to have the least amount of energetic friction is the one that you're kind of meant to go down. And things always end up falling into place.
Yeah,
it's funny like that, but it always happens for whatever reason.
Totally.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's been wonderful.